number 4 with a nice first down gain. David, when we look at this matchup here tonight, you've got two teams with not as many wins as either team would like to have. Edina comes in at 1-5, Osseo 2-4. But when you take a look at the schedule, these teams might be a little bit better than those records indicate.
Yeah, absolutely, Ryan. I think it's important first to recognize that here we are. Late into the season, both these teams have had an opportunity to play a lot of football, not originally planned. So I think they're all thankful for that. I think both of these teams out here, despite their challenging records, feel like they're in a position to win this game tonight. So a lot of optimism on both sides.
Absolutely. First down for the Orioles as they try to get past midfield, and a nice tackle in the backfield by number 4. That's Hamza Kaheen, the linebacker, making the tackle behind the line of scrimmage for a 2-yard loss. David, you hit on a very important point, and I think it becomes even more poignant with today's news. We're very thankful that we've had this season and that we're playing the 7th game of high school football for both of these teams. I think, as many are aware, Governor expected to make an announcement tomorrow, planning on a pause, quote unquote. That's his word, a pause in high school and youth sports. So we very well could be seeing our last high school football action, win or lose, for these teams tonight. But that being said, maybe that puts a little more on this, that you want to go out with a win.
Yeah, absolutely. If, in fact, this ends the season, there's nothing better than winning that last game, right? Maybe not for a championship in this case, but certainly for a good final finish.
You end with a W, and that is number 4, Hamza Kaheen, again tripping up the ball carrier for a loss. That's going to bring out the punt team for the Osseo Orioles, and after one first down, Hornets have to feel pretty good about that first defensive stand.
Yeah, absolutely. I think some of the things to keep an eye on here in this game is really controlling that line of scrimmage is going to be a big deal for both of these teams, so they can set up some passing and some outside activity. So Edina doing a nice job up front there.
Sawyer Anderson back to receive the punt for Edina. And he's going to let that one hit the turf and get away. Orioles are going to down the ball at about the 24-yard line. And that is where the Hornets will take over. We are just underway here. And it sounds like our broadcast is now up and running. So thank you all for joining us. I hope everybody is someplace warm tonight. It's a much colder night than the last time you and I were here, David. We were lucky enough to call the Minnetonka game. Edina's big win, big fourth quarter comeback for the Hornets. That was only a week and a half ago. That was Friday, November 6th. And we hit 70s that day. Right now it's 32 degrees, and it's a lot colder up here in the press box tonight.
Yeah, it sure is. I'm not sure how many times we've had to clear this field this season, but the field is clear. We've had some sunshine that's managed to clear off this field, but I think this is going to come into play. I think certainly on the Edina side, I think Coach Potts would like to put the ball in the air, and the receivers, the quarterback, they're going to be a little more challenged to keep their hands warm.
Big assist from Mother Nature, getting the field clear. Also an assist from many volunteers, many parents helping out, clearing the field and the bleachers for tonight's game. And George Sandman trying to warm things up on the field for the Hornets. He connects on second down there, sets up third and about a yard. Hornets on the 32-yard line right now. Edina going with its traditional, at least this season, traditional no-huddle offense. Sandman steps towards center and steps back again. Handoff to Sawyer. He's got the first down and a little bit more. Osseo pushes him back, but forward progress going to bring that first down and move the chains for Edina. Number 97 for Osseo, Emmanuel Mana on the tackle, and that is a large man at the defensive tackle spot for the Osseo Orioles. Quick pass there from Sandman out to Tom Fisher. going to set up 2nd down and 1. So Edina with a nice defensive stand on Osseo's first possession. Now the Hornets going for their 2nd first down here and hoping to get its first touchdown of the first quarter this season. Looks like we had some movement there. Flag on the play. And it's offsides on the Osseo defense. So that's going to give Edina a first down and move them 5 yards closer to that midfield line. Edina has 4 touchdowns so far this season, David. 2 late in that Minnetonka game, and then again 2 late against Shakopee. So the Hornets wanting to find the end zone in the first half for a change and really set the tone for this game offensively, and as well as give themselves some momentum.
Yeah, and what you're seeing so far is Edina taking what Osseo's given them with those short passes, setting up some short yardages, and as you can see now, really the pass has set up the run, which is nice for them, and put Edina in a nice position to have some flexibility with their play calling.
Absolutely. I love kind of that age-old debate of, is it the run that sets up the pass, or is it the pass that sets up the run? In this case, for Edina, in this game, it looks like the pass has set up the run, and it's been effective so far in this first possession for Edina. We've got 6 minutes and 30 seconds here to go in the first quarter, so we're nearing the halfway mark of the first quarter. 2nd down and 6 for Edina. Ball's on the 34-yard line. Hornets keep that ball moving. Going with the no huddle, trying to keep the defense on its toes. Keep them reeling right now. You see the 3 down linemen for Osseo. Trying to get outside, doesn't quite get there, but still a 3-4 yard run for the Hornets.
Ryan, going back to your earlier point about that importance of that drive, I'm not sure if either one of these teams have had leads throughout their season, so I would think from an encouragement, from a positive perspective, that would really get one of the teams moving if they can find themselves capitalizing early.
Well, Edina's only lead came in the final minute of that Minnetonka game. It was a 59 seconds left on the clock where they scored that touchdown to go up 14-13, held on to beat the Skippers for Jason Potts' first win as the Edina football coach. Talking about momentum and setting a positive tone, not going to happen there for Edina as they jump, moves them back 5 yards. So both teams with a pair of 5-yard penalties on this possession. Sandman's pass complete to Breifogel, Aiden Breifogel. 3rd and 4. Hornets going to go for it here. 4th and 4. Hornets going to go for it on 4th down. Ball's on the 32-yard line. Getting the play call in. Play clock ticking down. We're now at 5 seconds on the play clock. And whatever adjustment they made appears to have worked right on the line. And they're moving the chain. So that's a first down for Edina. Great pass, great catch by Breifogel, Jason Potts, whatever that adjustment was, it worked. First down Hornets, and that keeps the drive alive.
Yeah, I think it's important. Breifogel with 2 catches there, and if we think back to that Minnetonka game, he was pretty instrumental in getting some momentum there. So I think he's going to be a key to watch. If they can get some touches to him, I think that offense is going to function a lot better.
I think the more guys who have touches for Edina's offense, the better off they will be in that Minnetonka win. A number of players with 5 catches. Jack Dickey had 5. Breifogel, Sawyer Anderson. Ahmed had 5. So Sandman really distributing that ball around, and you can see some glimpses of that on that first possession here as well. We've seen a lot from Sawyer Anderson, a lot from Breifogel. Number 2, Khalid Ahmed as well. And the Hornets are looking at 3rd down and 7. Ball is on the 24-yard line. We're under 4 minutes to go. clock has not stopped much. And Sawyer Anderson finds open daylight. He's running to the end zone, and he is in. Touchdown, Hornets. And for the first time this season, in the first quarter, the Hornets find the end zone, a place that it's been hard to get to, let's be honest, for the Edina Hornets. Not this game, at least not so far. Edina on the board first. It is 6-0 Hornets with the big run from Sawyer Anderson.
Yeah, and Sawyer just being one of the leaders on this team there. Nice to see him. I think that's his first touchdown for the season too, so good to see that.
And the extra point is good. So with 3 minutes, 31 seconds to go in the first quarter, Edina 7, the Osseo Orioles 0. David, obviously positive for Edina for a number of reasons. The Hornets needing some momentum offensively, have not been able to put up a lot of points on the board, and so for them to be able to come out and do this in the first quarter, very important for them. Also important for another reason. We mentioned that neither team has had the success in the win column that they would have liked this season, but when you compare the two, one thing that stands out is while Osseo only has one more win on the season, the Orioles have been able to put up some points, which is something that Edina hasn't been able to do. So it leads you to believe that if Edina is going to be able to win this game, they're going to have to score more than they have in recent games.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I think is great to see in that first drive there is there were equal yards coming on the ground as there were on the pass. So
Great
I think
balance.
They've had Edina's had more success with the pass, at least from a scoring perspective, and now it looks, not only the touchdown run, but then some key plays made on the ground too, setting up some short yardage and some other opportunities.
Christian Smith ready to kick for Edina, his second kickoff of the game. Osseo started with the ball. That's a little bit of a squig. Knee is down by number 2 for the Orioles. So that is where they will take over. They are on the 36-yard line. And with 3 minutes, 31 seconds to go, it's Osseo's ball for their second possession of this game. Want to welcome all of our friends from Osseo who are tuning into this game, joining us this evening. Hope you enjoy the game and enjoy the broadcast. Toss out to number 4 for the Orioles. That's Kenny McKenzie. You'll hear his name quite often. Kenny McKenzie, he has one of those names, it just flows, right? He's one of those guys where you say the first name and the last name. NFL, you always think of Brett Favre, right? You never talked about Favre. You always heard Brett Favre. I think Kenny McKenzie is one of those guys. It seems less fulfilling to just say McKenzie. I want to say Kenny McKenzie every time.
Yep, great point. Great football name, and looks like a great football player out there.
That was McKenzie again, dancing for a couple yards. That's going to set up 3rd down and about 5 for the Osseo Orioles. Ball's on the 42-yard line now. Couple connections with the Osseo Orioles and the Edina Hornets. Most Edina fans will remember Darren Lamker, the head coach at Edina for the last 3 years, came to Edina after winning a state championship in 2015 at Osseo. That pass falls incomplete. That was number 3, McIntyre, rolling right and throwing left. Put quite a lot on that pass. That was pretty impressive for a guy, for a left-hander rolling right.
Yeah, tough call for the quarterback there. Play developed a bit late. Edina was able to get some pressure on him and didn't really give him an opportunity to set his feet and get his shoulders around. So a nice defensive stand by Edina here, and I got to think that's going to continue to build the momentum here.
Hornets with some pressure on that punt. Osseo gets it off. Sawyer Anderson decides to field it. He gets about 4 yards before he is swallowed up by number 10 for Osseo on the punt coverage. So Edina going to take over for its second possession of the game. They will get the ball at about the 31-yard line. First 10 minutes of this quarter went by pretty quickly, but we're now looking at 2 minutes on the clock. 7-0 Edina, first quarter from Coleman Field. Number 5 seed in the Lakeville South bracket, Osseo, playing the number 4 seed Edina Hornets. Sandvin hands off on first down. That's number 2, Khalid Ahmed. Nowhere to go for him. Maybe gains 1 yard, 2 yards, and it was not Ahmed. I stand corrected. That was number 28 for the Edina Hornets, Landon Nebel. Second down, toss out to Sawyer Anderson, running along the sidelines, tries to reach for that first down, but he's marked out of bounds just short of it. Sawyer marked out at the 40. That's going to set up a 3rd down and 1, and we stopping the clock briefly on the field. Third and 1, looks like 3rd and less than 1 for Edina. Going back to Sawyer Anderson. That's a name we're going to call. Calling it early and often tonight. That's good for the first down for Edina.
You know, once again, Ryan, 3rd and 1, great place to be from an offensive perspective. So lot of different plays you can consider on 3rd and 1 midfield.
3rd and short, much better than 3rd and long, especially if you're the one calling the plays. First down, Edina. And that's Anderson again, but we've got a flag down in the backfield. Looks like this one might be coming back. So we were talking about the Edina-Osseo connection. Orioles win the state title in 2015. Darren Lamker then comes. He's an assistant coach at Edina in 2016, takes over in 17, and was the head coach here for 3 years. And that brings us now to Jason Potts in his first year as the head coach for Edina. Meanwhile, Ryan Stockhouse in his 5th season coaching the Orioles. He took over after that state championship team in 2015. Good little trivia fact about that 2015 team. That was the last state championship game at TCF Bank Stadium. They've now been at US Bank Stadium ever since. Osseo beating Eastridge in that championship game back in 2015. And while there will be no state championship game this season, Orioles obviously trying to advance in the playoffs. Haven't done that since that 2015 season. So Sandvin incomplete on second down. Excuse me, on first down. That sets up 2nd and 24. So long row to hoe for Edina here as we're coming into the final minute of the first quarter. Sandvin back to pass again, inside screen. That's Brady Anderson with a nice gain of about 14, maybe 15 yards. Roughly back to the original line of scrimmage. So we're looking at 3rd and 10, make that 3rd and 9.
You know, Ryan, one other connection with Osseo and Edina is last year's offensive line coach from Edina is now the offensive line coach for Osseo.
Great connection, and that pass bounced around. Anderson couldn't find it. Number 7 for the Orioles, trying to pick that off in the air. Couldn't quite get a hold of it. That's Kenny Collins on the Orioles going for the interception as that ball was deflected, but there's another flag down in the backfield. We'll wait for the call here. And it looks like they're going to march it off in favor of Edina. I still haven't seen, here we go, roughing the passer. So that one hurts for Osseo. That's going to be a first down for Edina and bring the ball all the way across midfield. Hornets get it at Osseo's 39. So right there, a perfect example of how much penalties can hurt you. Osseo had stopped Edina on fourth down, was about to get the ball back, and now the drive continues into Osseo territory, David.
Yeah, costly penalty there. Looks like they were going to get the ball back. Had a nice stop. Didn't see that hit, but obviously they called that and moved Edina forward now. On the other side of midfield, looking to keep their momentum going.
So frustrating play there for the Orioles. Gives Edina a first down. Making an adjustment on the game clock here. I believe we're putting 10 seconds onto the clock to finish out the first quarter. Sandman in the shotgun, hands off to Sawyer Anderson, and he has nowhere to go. Makes a move to at least avoid the 3-4 yard loss. Still loses 1 or 2, and that is the end of the first quarter. Edina with the 7, many hoping to get to see those brackets play out. Anderson on the carry. He is stopped by a number of Orioles after a couple of yards there. Second down, and they give him no gain, maybe a gain of half a yard there, but it's 2nd and 10 up on the scoreboard. 2nd and goal. They're on the 10, maybe just inside the 10-yard line. Sandman under center again. Fakes the toss, hands it off to Anderson on the end around. He is met outside by a couple of Orioles. That's number 5. We lost our sheet. We lost our play sheet. The wind taking advantage of us here. I thought temperatures were our only concern, but wind really screwed us up. Let's get back to 3rd and goal. We got a little chaos here in the press box, but I think we got it under control.
Just battling through the elements here,
yeah.
Just like the young men down on the field.
We just got to dig deep and persevere. I think we can do it. I think we'll make it. Didn't have to worry about this back a week and a half ago when it was a 70-degree day. My goodness. All right. 3rd and 5. Sandman rolls right to his target, Breyfogle, who's across the goal line. Touchdown, Hornets. My goodness. It only took 6 games, but the Hornets have hit their stride on the offensive side of the ball, David.
Yeah, absolutely. And once again, another nice catch by Breyfogle, really being a standout here in the early part of this game. And I think what really set that up was some nice runs inside, kind of soften up that defense, and a little play action there by Sandman, and hit the tight end there just in the corner.
Snap is down, kick is up, and it is good for Christian Smith, who's just been solid on his extra points this season. So with 9 minutes, 14 seconds to go in the second quarter, Edina 14, Osseo nothing. Tuesday night playoff football action coming to you from Coolman Field, and if you're a Hornet fan, so far so good for you. Before our sheets and our rosters and our notes blew away here, I was mentioning we were talking about Cretin-Durham Hall and Lakeville South. That's on Edina and Osseo's side of the bracket. On the other side of the bracket, we've got White Bear Lake and Champlain Park. That's a 7 o'clock kick. We'll get a score for you for Egan and Shakopee. That one kicked off at 5:30 tonight. So we'll get you some score updates a little bit later, let you know what's happening elsewhere in this Lakeville South bracket. There are 4 brackets in Class 6A for the playoff format this year. And this bracket is the only one with 8 teams. So you've got 4, what are laid out to be 4 8-team brackets. But this is the only bracket with 8 teams, including, in 2 of the brackets, there are only 5 teams because a total of 6 teams have had to drop out because of COVID. Kickoff to number 5, who gets outside on the kick return there for Osseo. Nice return, gives the Orioles good field position as they try to get something going on offense here in the second quarter. That was Caden Williams on the return for the Osseo Orioles. So they're all the way. They will start at Edina's 45-yard line. They're in Edina territory. Best field position that they've had all night so far on their third possession here. Orioles back to pass. Pressure. And you hear the call from Dave Dickey, the familiar soothing tones at Kuhlman Field of Dave Dickey. Nice play in the backfield there by Edina, and that's Noah Richards with the tackle for loss with the sack in the backfield. So 2nd and 12, handoff to Kenny McKenzie. Gain of about 3 or 4 for McKenzie. That's going to set up 3rd and long for the Orioles.
Now, Ryan, as much as we talked about Edina having those short yardage situations on offense, we've seen the exact opposite here for Osseo. They've had some long distance 3rd downs here that they've had to deal with. See if they get it done here.
They hand it off on 3rd and 9 and just nowhere to go. That's number 5. Caden Williams, he had the kick return, nowhere to go for him on the run there. Does not appear that the Orioles are going to punt. They've got a long way to go. 4th down, 8 yards. Ball is on the 43 of Edina, and they are going for it. Rolling left. Pass is complete, but stopped well short of the 1st down. So Edina will take over at its own 39-yard line. 4 and out for Osseo. The Orioles got a 1st down on their first possession and have just not been able to get much going offensively ever since. So the Orioles defense comes back onto the field, and you can see on this Edina sideline a lot of excitement, a lot of enthusiasm. Hornets definitely have momentum going right now.
Yeah, defense doing a nice job getting some pressure on the Osseo quarterback. He had to get rid of that a little sooner than he probably wanted to.
Hornets take over. Sandvin hands it off to Sawyer Anderson up the middle. Not much room to run for Sawyer on that play. Gain of about 3. 2nd down and 7 for Edina as we approach the 7-minute mark of the second quarter. Another run up the middle, and ball pops out. And it looks like Osseo recovers on the 47-yard line. Orioles will get the ball back. So Edina had momentum, looking good, playing well on offense and defense. But ball squirts out there. Osseo smothers it, and the Orioles get it back on the 47-yard line. So Orioles will try and make something of this mistake from Edina, see if they can get this game, get this momentum to turn in their favor. Run up the middle for Orioles. Nowhere to run. That was Jacob Jackson on the carry. Noah Richards with another tackle, getting to call his name a few times tonight. 2nd and 8. Speaking of names we want to call, we want to give a shout out to our friend Will Vanderbilt here, who's working the camera. He's doing a heck of a job. He's an Edina grad. Class of 14, is that right, Will? Did I hear that correctly? Yep. He nods with pride, he's not feeling sheepish. He's not embarrassed that I'm giving him a call out. He's doing a nice job on the camera here. Orioles pass, lets it fly deep. Coverage is there by A.J. Dahl. Ball falls incomplete. And that's going to be 3rd and 8 for Osseo. Good to see A.J. Dahl back. He missed the last game, the Shakopee game. He was hurt in that Tonka game. So nice to see A.J. back and making the play for Edina.
Yeah, and A.J.'s been a solid defensive back here for the Edina program now for the past couple of years. A starter as a 10th grader, starting all this year. Got a little banged up, and I'm sure coaches down there are happy to have him back there, especially in that play, right? Running right in stride with that Osseo receiver.
Great athlete, great to have him back, great to have him healthy. Gain of about 3 on that play for Osseo. There's been quite a Dahl pipeline at Edina. Some great athletes coming through, and AJ just the latest, and he's got his hand on that right hip. I believe that's the one that's been bothering him a little bit. So hopefully he's just working through some things and still feeling healthy. 4th down and 5 for the Orioles, and they are going to punt this time.
Ryan, let's keep an eye on how quickly that punter's able to get this ball off here. Edina's had a couple looks at it here over the last 2 punts, and maybe a quick timeout here to discuss a different way to rush that punter. We'll see.
Yeah, while at the same time, I think wanting to caution the kids to not totally sell out and keep an eye on the potential fake. We're right in that field position, right in that territory where that kind of play is something you might see coming from the offense. Edina has been bringing it on the punt so far today, and it wouldn't be surprising if Osseo decided now was a good time to call a fake and keep the Hornet defense honest. Jason Potts just wanted to take a few minutes to talk about it. Let's do a quick reset. We've got 5 minutes, 18 seconds to go. 14-0 Edina. 4th down and 5 for the Orioles. They are on their 47-yard line. The Orioles have not been able to get anything going offensively. And now we will see. Do they punt? And they do. And Edina does not bring a lot of pressure. Sawyer Anderson fakes the catch, lets this one roll into the end zone. So Edina will take over at its own 20-yard line. How are we doing on our score here, Will? We're all good. All right. Good to hear. I trust you. I trust you. Let's give a couple more shout-outs here in the press box. We've got Eric Anderson working the play clock today. For those of you Edina students, you may know Eric from government or history class. He expects that you are planning to study and do your homework as soon as this game is over. Get ready for virtual class tomorrow. Speaking of getting ready, that was Michael McIntyre on the tackle for Osseo. He was ready for that play, and that's a loss for the Hornets. Loss of about 2. I'm going to call it 2nd and 12 for Edina. So Eric Anderson's working the play clock. Phil Stark working the scoreboard. Just a top-notch crew we've got up here in the press box at Coleman Field today. Sandvin, short little pass out to Breifogel. He is brought down from behind short of the first down, about 3 yards short. So we're looking at 3rd down and 3. Ball on the 28-yard line, maybe 27 for Edina. Call in from the sideline, and Sandvin takes a step forward, then back to his shotgun spot. Quick pass outside. That pass to Tom Fisher is complete, and it's a first down, Edina.
Nice concentration there by Tom Fisher. It looked like that ball was tipped coming off the line there. So way to focus on it and bring it down for a first down there.
Keeps the chains moving. Sandvin looks to the side, gets the call again. You've got 3 wide on our side of the field here. Quick out to Brady Anderson, the sophomore. He gets it down to the 40. Made a move there and is just short of the first down marker. So going to be 2nd and 1 for Edina at its own 40-yard line. We're under the 4-minute mark here in the second quarter. Hornets right to the line. Sawyer Anderson on the carry up the middle. Doesn't get much, but it's just all he needs. First down, Edina. And the chains keep moving.
So Edina right where they want to be in terms of Coach Potts' offense here, kind of making the reads, and you're seeing it as the ball gets spread around to a lot of different receivers.
Oh, unfortunately that receiver not wearing a green jersey for Edina. Interception for the Orioles. Number 8, Owen Dukowitz. Sandvin picked off by Dukowitz. And that's going to give Osseo its best opportunity of the night. Dukowitz's return to the 27-yard line, Edina's 27-yard line. So another turnover. That's Edina's 2nd turnover of the night. Hornets have had a fumble that killed 1 drive. Now the interception. And they're allowing Osseo to stay in this game, giving the Orioles great field position. As I mentioned, 27-yard line here. Speaking of turnovers, Wyatt Dubler, the quarterback there, kind of leaving that ball out in his left hand while he was carrying it. It made me nervous just as a spectator watching it. You always worry about a ball carrier having that ball outside the body like that.
Yeah, he looks like a confident runner, right? He kind of moves well, and maybe sometimes you see guys like that out there that kind of forget about the ball because they're looking to place a few moves on those defenders there. But I would agree with you. I'm sure those Osseo coaches are not excited about that ball just kind of being put out there for anyone to hit.
Well, it was a nice scramble by Dubler. Gain of about 4 yards. We had a Hornet shaken up on the play. That's Robbie Kapasinskis, who was slow getting up, but he walks off under his own power. Kapasinskis, a junior, has had a really nice season on the defensive line, so hopefully we'll get to see him back in the game here. Obviously just needing to take some time to gather himself. So 2nd down, 7 yards to go for Osseo. Their best field position of the night. They are on Edina's 24-yard line. Hand off to the Orioles. And a good gain. Looks like it's going to be just short of the first down mark. Anderson in on the tackle for Edina. Sawyer Anderson. We've got a couple Andersons out there on defense for Edina, so we have to make sure we clarify who that was. Sawyer Anderson on the tackle. 3rd down and 1. It is not a first down for Osseo. They are quick to the line. Dubler steps back for a moment. Back under center. Hands it off to Kenny McKenzie. And it looks to me like he's got enough for the first down. And he does. First down Orioles. They're on the 16-yard line now. Minute 50 left on the clock. Both teams with all of their timeouts remaining. So Orioles threatening to get on the board before halftime and make this potentially a 7-point game. Dubler keeps that one. fakes the handoff, but Edina not buying it. That was Noah Richards, number 6, with the tackle. Tackle for a loss. 6 or 7 yard loss. So big play by the Hornet defense there. 2nd down, 17 as we approach the 1 minute mark.
Well, kind of interesting that they're taking this much time here. You know, ball's on the 22, so you can get a fresh set of downs, and they're letting quite a bit of time come off that clock here.
Yeah, not seeing any urgency from the Osseo offense right now. I did mention they have their 3 timeouts, so they do have timeouts and a little clock to work with, but yeah, just not seeing any urgency at all. Doubler runs it again, doesn't get anywhere, and there's the first timeout from Osseo. So 27 seconds on the clock. It's going to be 2nd and about 17. Excuse me, 3rd and 17. 3rd and 17 for Osseo. 27 seconds on the clock. Ball on the 22-yard line. Osseo with 2 timeouts left. Obviously, the Orioles want to get 7 out of this. However, we were watching before the game. Their kicker attempted a 50-yard line. It was dead on. It was short by maybe a yard or 2, but just watching that kicker, it's clear they've got someone who can boot the ball, and 3 points is an option for this Osseo offense.
Yeah, I think certainly that becomes an option for Osseo, but from a momentum perspective, I think that they really want to see 6 points on the board here.
You would think, however, what we were watching there didn't really appear that way. So a little bit puzzling, but we'll see what the Orioles do here on 3rd down and 17 with 27 seconds to go. So we've got a little confusion. The down marker on the sideline says 3rd down. Scoreboard says 2nd down. Doubler has to rush that one. Falls incomplete. So we've got the 4th down on the down marker on the field. Yep, 4th and 17. Okay, we've got everything in order here. 4th down and 17. 17 seconds left to go before halftime. Ball is on the 22. We saw Osseo's kicker trying kicks longer than this before half, but doesn't appear they're going to go for it.
Yeah,
at least go for the kick. They're gonna go for the first down is what it looks like.
Looks like they're gonna have to use another timeout here too. Boy, they're Osseo having a little bit of struggle here with the clock.
Yep, play clock was running down, so Osseo uses one of its 2 remaining timeouts. They have 1 left, 1 in the back pocket here. 4th down and 17. That first down marker is at about the 6-yard line, David. So I think that's important. They have that timeout. They don't have to get into the end zone. They can get a first down and be in a 1st and goal situation.
Yeah, and it appears they're coming out to run a play here. So I think they're thinking, hey, a field goal is not going to help us that much here, down 14-0 as we finish off the first half here. So it appears they're thinking that way and going to try to get a first down or a touchdown here.
Now, the flip side of that is the offense has struggled so far tonight. I don't think we've seen a 17-yard play out of Osseo. And I believe they do have a kicker who can kick it this far, but this is a long kick at the high school level for anybody. So not a surprise that they're going to go here on 4th and 17 on the 22-yard line of Edina. 17 seconds left. Fake the handoff. Hit as he throws. Ball is tipped and falls incomplete, so Edina will take over. 22 seconds left, and the Hornets really dodge a bullet after that interception gave Osseo such great field position.
Yeah, once again, that pressure put on that quarterback, the left-handed quarterback rolling out to the right, was the difference there, because he just was not able to set his feet and get much on that throw to get it out there. It looked like he had a couple people that might have been had a step or two, but he just wasn't able to get enough on the ball.
So Edina's defense comes through again. Sandvin will take a knee, and that's going to bring us to the half. Edina 14, Osseo 0 at the half of our halftime battle in the Lakeville South bracket here. Tuesday night lights from Coolman Field. We're going to turn the mic down. We have to do that because the music that's played over the PA at halftime, we can't have that going out over YouTube. So don't adjust your laptop, your iPad, whatever it is that you're watching with us on. We're going to turn down the volume, and we will be back as soon as the third quarter begins. So everybody go grab a bite to eat, something to drink, and we'll be back with you in just under 15 minutes. All right, we are back. Final seconds ticking off the clock here before we start the third quarter. Edina 14, Osseo nothing. Thank you to the 124 people that are currently watching with us right now on YouTube. I see 3 thumbs up, 1 thumbs down. I'm assuming that thumbs down comes from an Osseo fan, and that it's directed at the Orioles play, not at our calling the game, David.
Can't be.
That's
Can't be
where
us.
I'm going. Can't be us. Might have been over the clock management there at the end of the first half, but. Anyway, we'll pander. We'll suck up. If you want to give us a thumbs up, we'll take that. We want to give a quick shout out to the Edina Booster Club, who makes these broadcasts happen. Thank you for paying for them. Thank you to everybody at the Edina Athletic Booster Club for providing this service this season. Obviously, we haven't been able to have everybody out to the football games and the volleyball games and the sporting events who would like to be there. So hopefully those of you who couldn't be there in person have been able to catch some of the action via these streaming broadcasts. So if you want to support the Edina Boosters and help fund these broadcasts that have happened all fall, you could go to edinaboosters.club, and I know any and all donations would be greatly appreciated. We are underway here in the second half. Osseo with the squib kick to start it off, and the return up to the 40-yard line for Edina. That's where the Hornets will take over. We'll call it the 39. So Hornets with 14 points in the first half, something they have not done this season. Edina has struggled offensively this season, scoring most of its points later in the games that it has played. Fourth quarter comeback against Minnetonka. That was a 14-13 win. Also got some points on the board against Shakopee late in the fourth quarter in its last regular season game. But 14 points in the first half for Edina, and that's where we stand. 14-0 Hornets over Osseo in our playoff matchup here on Tuesday night from Kuhlman Field. Tuesday, November 17th. David, I'm gonna guess. I don't know, and unfortunately we don't have a statistician, so I'm just gonna go with it. I think this is the latest football game we've had played at Kuhlman Field, November 17th. So I feel like we're a part of history, and Sawyer Anderson trying to make history, or at least trying to make a first down, and he does that. Nice cutback by Sawyer, and he gets the first down and more, marked out of bounds at about the 43-yard line of Osseo.
Yeah, nice play by Sawyer there. Osseo did a nice job filling that hole, and then Anderson just found that backside. It kind of people gone away, and he ran that direction.
So Hornets off to a nice start here in the second half. Sandvin's pass, looking for Brady Anderson, but tight coverage there by the Orioles, and that pass drops incomplete. 2nd and 10 for Edina. Ryan Lund, David Bergholt. We've got Will Vanderbilt working the camera for us. Eric Anderson is over on the play clock. Phil Stark working the scoreboard. You can hopefully hear Dave Dickey, your PA announcer. That is your crew bringing you the action from Kuhlman Field. Hornets and Orioles in the first and what will likely be the last playoff game for both of these teams, win or lose, as we all anticipate an announcement from the governor tomorrow that high school sports will be put on pause. While that's disappointing, frustrating news for many, very thankful that we've had the football season we've had. 7th game for both of these teams, both teams being able to play a full season. That's Anderson with the carry. Gain of 1, maybe, yeah, we'll give them 1 on that. So 4th down and 5 for the Hornets. They're on the 36-yard line. They're going to go for it here early in the second quarter. Hornets trying to get it straight, and doesn't seem like they were able to do that. So Jason Potts going to call his first timeout of the second half and just get everything situated, make sure everybody's on the same page here.
I like the aggressive nature of Potts. Going forward here, 4th and 4, right? Kind of a little bit past midfield. Try to keep that momentum. I think both teams are going to search for some momentum. Certainly, Osseo moved the ball at the latter part of that first half. Had some good success, but came up short. And what Edina really wants to do now is just keep that pressure going, keep that train rolling down the tracks here.
Keep the ball in their own hands and prevent Osseo from getting the ball and trying to get something going on offense. So 4th down, 5 to go. We'll call it a short 5. Ball on the 36. Sandvin's pass over the middle, snagged out of the air by Brady Anderson for the first down. Great grab, great hands by Anderson, the sophomore receiver there. First down at the 29-yard line, so a big 4th down conversion for Edina as the Hornets start marching a little bit closer towards more points on that scoreboard here in the early 3rd quarter. Sandvin passing again. Had Tom Fisher wide open, but it bounces off of Fisher's hands, and a deflection that could have turned into another costly turnover falls down to the turf. 2nd down and 10 for Edina. Sandvin with time decides to scramble this one. Reaches out front. Looks like he is marked just short of the first down. Really good run from Sandvin. Nope, they're moving the chains. You see the referee waving him down the sideline. So Sandvin on 2nd down scrambles for 10 and a first down. Edina on the 20-yard line of Osseo. Hornets in the red zone. High snap to Sandvin, hands off to Sawyer. He cuts up, gains about 4 before he's met by what appears to be about 4 or 5 white Oriole jerseys. That'll set up 2nd down and about 6. I mentioned the Edina Athletic Booster Club providing these broadcasts. Want to thank them again. President Steve Bishop, Sean Broderick, membership, Dan Aram, just a few of the good folks with the boosters, doing lots of good things, not only with these broadcasts of sports in the fall, but all their work all year long for all of the sports and all of the athletes at Edina. So thank you and thank them. And if you want to give your support, go to edinaboosters.club. edinaboosters.club, and you can make a donation, give early, give often. 3rd down and 4 for the Hornets. They're on the 14-yard line. We're approaching the 8-minute mark here of the 3rd quarter. Sawyer Anderson with the carry. He has just been the workhorse tonight for Edina. Sandvin really distributing the ball when he throws it, but it's Anderson who's been getting the bulk of the carries for the Hornets and gaining a lot of ground, really helping Edina move up and down the field offensively tonight. Edina has really only stopped itself on the offensive side of the ball with 2 turnovers. And again, right on cue, it's Anderson powering ahead for a first down. Great carry, great run after contact by Sawyer Anderson.
Yeah, that was all second effort by Anderson out there. It looked like he was even going to be dropped for a little bit of a loss, and then managed to gain a couple yards there. So great individual effort by the senior.
1st and goal for the Hornets Ball is on the 8-yard line. Edina threatening here in the third quarter. 14-0. Sandvin to pass. Keeps it low. Puts it there for Jack Dickey, who can't quite hang on. Good coverage by Osseo. 2nd and 8. 2nd and goal from the 8-yard line for Edina. High snap there, handoff, and nowhere to run. Great tackle by Michael McIntyre for the Orioles. That was Nebel on the carry, number 20, 28, 29 for Nebel.
29, I believe.
You're just nodding. It was an either or, and you're nodding affirmatively.
Yeah, 29.
29. We'll go with 29. All right. Regardless, not far to run for Nebel. So 3rd down, Sandvin's pass. He's got Ahmed in the end zone. Touchdown, Hornets. Khalid Ahmed with the touchdown. And a great offensive performance by the Hornets so far. I say great, I guess it's all relative, but when you've had the challenges and the struggles that this offense has had all season long, 3 touchdowns does feel great. And the Hornets feeling great right now as Christian Smith about to kick the extra point. And he drills that one through the uprights. So with 6:40 to go in the third quarter, Hornets 21, Orioles nothing.
Ryan, we talked about this a little bit in the first half, but the ability for the Edina offense to spread the ball around a little bit is been tremendous for them going into the second half here too. So I may be mistaken, but I think just about every Edina receiver now has had a look at a catch or has caught the ball too. So really spreading the ball around, which is probably the key to their success right now, being up by 3 touchdowns.
So it's a great point because we've had good distribution of the ball by Sandvin on offense, as well as good balance in terms of run and pass. And if you're Osseo, it's kept you guessing on every play. You don't know, is the ball going to be on the ground? Is it going in the air? If it's in the air, who's it going to? And obviously, Osseo has not been able to guess correctly too many times.
Yeah, and I think what we all know is Coach Potts, longtime offensive coordinator. What I think was one of the reasons why he got the job here was because of his insight and his ability to call plays. And so I think it probably is fair to say this Edina squad needed some time to figure it out and to start to feel comfortable with a new offense this year.
Definitely. Jason Potts coming to Edina from Armstrong. Armstrong put up some really big offensive numbers last year, and it made their offensive struggles earlier in the year all the more perplexing because we knew there was some talent, and obviously I think everybody expects with a new coach there's going to be a transition. There's going to be a little bit of a maybe some growing pains, if you will, but maybe you're right. Maybe Edina is hitting its stride at the right time, and so far they are showing it here in this quarterfinal playoff game, up 21-0 in the third quarter. Orioles with the ball now. Wow, talk about effort. That ball carrier would not go down, and refs letting him play on that one, not whistling the play dead. But after about 1 or 2 yards, that was a well-earned 1 or 2 yards. It's going to be 2nd down and 8 for Osseo. So Orioles now trying to get their offense going. They've put up some points this year, but not in this game so far. A little bit of a surprise to see that the Orioles have struggled as much as they have. Big run there. That's number 33 for the Orioles. Othello Toe with a nice gain. 3rd and 1. I'm going to call that less than 1, maybe 3rd and half a yard now for the Orioles. They're in Edina territory trying to get a first down, and they've got it. They go right back to the big toe, number 33, Othello Toe. First down, Orioles. Charlie Lindbergh on the stop for Edina. We approach the 5-minute mark of the 3rd quarter. 21-0 Hornets here from Coolman Field. Oh, ball hits the turf and bounces right in the hands of Edina, but can't grab. It looks like the Orioles may have recovered. We'll let the pile clear, and you see the signal from the referee there. Ball stays with the Orioles. Jagger Shack recovers it for Osseo. J.J. Jones was right there for Edina, but couldn't quite grab onto the ball. And Osseo maintains possession here. They do lose a little on the play, though. So 2nd and 11 for the Orioles. They sweep left, and it's just every yard, every inch is hard fought. They're just not able to get much going on the ground here. Really stellar defensive effort from Edina. Gain of 1, maybe 2, 3rd down and 9 for the Orioles. We talk about that offensive distribution by Sandvin using multiple receivers. We've had a lot of different guys for Edina on defense too, making plays, making tackles, containing Osseo as they have so far tonight. Well, it's the big toe powering ahead there. He's short of the first down, but making progress for Osseo. 3rd and 3 from the 39-yard line. 4th and 3 now. 4th and 3. That was the 3rd down gain by Toe. 4th down, 2 to go. Ball's on the 34-yard line. And let's see if Osseo goes with what has brought him this far. And they do. Toss out to Toe. He loses the handle on that one. Fumble in the backfield. Edina recovers on the fumble. That was number 24 for the Hornets. Rory Conway recovering in the backfield. Hornets take over, 1st and 10.
Interesting call there, Ryan. You know, they had, as you said, kind of see if they'll go with what got them there, and then they tried to mix it up, get it outside, and unfortunately, running back couldn't hold on to that ball. But I'm not sure he would have had that first down, even if he had that. You know, they had some pretty good success pounding it up in the middle there, and then went away from it and kind of almost got a little too creative for their own good there in that spot.
Goes down as a fumble.
Yeah.
Could have been a turnover on downs. We didn't get to see it play out, but I think the toss was maybe a little behind Toe, and that led to him bobbling as well. But Orioles had for
absolutely tough kid, plays both sides of the ball, tough on defense, special teams, just one of those leaders out there for the Edina team.
Solid athlete. Speaking of solid, number 29, we got that sorted out the last time he carried the ball. That's Landon Neville with a 4-yard carry for the Hornets. 2nd down and 6, ball on the 42. Under a minute and a half to play here in the 3rd quarter. And I think Edina is content to just hand that ball off and keep marching down the field and keep those minutes and seconds ticking off the clock. About 32 degrees at Coolman Field, and you know, we've maybe got it a little bit warmer in the press box, but not much. The lips start to get a little numb. Yeah, it becomes a little harder to enunciate every word.
Then our our eyes are getting a little tired. We can't seem to pick up all the jersey numbers, so we're just hanging on here.
Man, we're doing the best we can. Hopefully you're doing the best you can. 40 seconds to go here in the third quarter. 3rd down and 5. Sandvin back to pass. He's going across the middle for Breyfogle. Ball was tipped by 2 Orioles. They almost had a pick there. Couldn't quite hang on. So 4th down and 5 for Edina. 27 seconds to go. No sign of Edina's punter. Jason Potts electing to go for it. 4th down and 5. Let's see if we get a hard count from the Hornets, trying to get Osseo to jump and a free 1st down. Play clock is now at 10. Oh, little pooch punt from Sandvin, and it seems to work out pretty well. Ball rolls down to the 10-yard line, and that's where the Orioles will take over with 16 seconds to go. As the father of the real punter, what do you think of the play there?
Well, I was actually just getting ready to say, boy, I don't think Edina's even punted tonight, and up until this game, we've seen an awful lot of punts out there, so I'm glad it didn't jump the gun on that statement there, as they take care of that little pooch punt there and get the ball moved down there. So I think it was a smart move, right? You don't want to give Osseo any opportunity to get momentum, get the ball close to midfield, and just kind of keep him pinned back. So smart call by Coach Potts. Smart call, and it worked out for him. Adam Bergholt, the punter for the Hornets, has had a great season, really a strong season, and while we're happy for him and the way that he has executed this season, we've probably gotten to see too much of him, more than you would like to see. No, you don't want your punter receiving awards on the most punts in the league. It's certainly not a stat that you want to see on the sheet. That's the player that every coach wants to keep on the sidelines as much as possible. And that brings us to the end of our third quarter. 21-0 Hornets. We're going to march all the way to the opposite side of the field. Osseo on the 14-yard line. They will take over with 2nd and 7. Well, we are heading into what is likely to be the final 12 minutes of the high school football season for both of these teams, win or lose. And as I was saying earlier, while of course there's frustration, there's concern, you can throw out any emotion you want. Someone out there is experiencing it, but I truly am grateful that we have had these 7 games of high school football, especially when you go back to August when the season was postponed and you didn't think there was going to be any high school football this fall. Obviously that decision was then changed in September. But who would have thought that, back in August when this was postponed and we were looking at a winter football season, potentially creating a season in between the winter and spring sports seasons and trying to figure out how that was going to work, playing football in March and April in Minnesota, and where would you do it and how would you do it? If you asked me then, would you take 7 games in the fall, I would have said without a doubt. Right, absolutely, and I think we got a little bit of that experience of what it would have felt like last week at Shakopee. With snow all over the ground and obviously very cold temperatures, not only from the stands, but on the field, not as pleasant as you would like.
Most definitely. So happy to get to see the kids play the games that they did. And while maybe not all the success they would have liked to have had on the field, certainly not in the win column, happy that we're getting to be here for one more quarter of high school football. 21-0 Edina, 11-13 to go in the fourth quarter, and they've got Osseo 4th down and 7 on their own 14-yard line. So Osseo's punter in the end zone for this punt, and you would expect that Edina is going to get some good field position. Sawyer Anderson back to return the kick. He lets it drop at the 40, and that's where Osseo picks it up, maybe the 41-yard line. So Hornets with very good field position for their first offensive possession of the fourth quarter. One score update to give you from the Lakeville South bracket. That's the playoff bracket that these two teams are in. Edina the 4 seed, Osseo the 5 seed. Shakopee is the 2 seed. They were leading Egan at last check 34-0 in the third. So it looks as if Shakopee, the 2 seed, was going to advance. Remains to be seen if they will have another game to play or not. They would get the winner of White Bear Lake and Champlain Park. As the brackets are set up, the winner of this game will get the winner of Lakeville South and Cretin-Durham Hall. That's Tom Fisher with the move, the cutback inside. He gets down inside the 10-yard line. Great run after catch by Tom Fisher. And again, Sandvin moving that ball around. Great gain for the Hornets. They are inside the 10 and threatening again.
Nice little play there with Fisher coming over the across the field there. I think what really probably set that up was Sandvin had plenty of time back there and could really kind of let that play come out. That was a long route by Fisher, and he had plenty of time to set that up. And then once he got the ball, some nice running there. Made a couple moves, got some extra yards.
Othello Toe, we've called his name more on the offensive side of the ball, but he's the player who's down right now for Osseo on defense. Maybe just needed a moment to gather himself. He's a little slow getting up, but appears to be okay. Walks off slowly. When we return to action, it'll be 1st and goal from the 9-yard line. 10 minutes, 44 seconds to go here in the fourth quarter. 21-0 Edina. And Hornets looking for more. One common opponent between these two teams this year, and that's Maple Grove. Edina played them first game of the season, lost 25-3. Osseo played Maple Grove in October and lost 31-7. And a great attempt there. Breifogel with the catch, but he's ruled out of bounds there. Some grumbling from the Edina fans, but it is incomplete, and that's going to set up 2nd down and 10. Handoff to Sawyer Anderson. He stumbles, keeps his feet, gets down. We'll see where he's marked. Looks like he's marked at about the 3. So, 3rd down, 3rd and goal. 3rd and goal from the 3 for Edina. Looking for its 4th touchdown of the night. That would match its touchdown total of the previous games. Sandvin on the keeper. He's got a lot of room to run. Can he turn the corner and get in? Hits the pylon, but he's marked out of bounds by the referee there at the 2-yard line. Long way to run for a gain of 1 yard there for Sandvin.
Yeah, nice play by the Osseo defense there. Couple guys that are out there came off some blocks and were able to kind of string that out, and it was close. It was a real close play.
All right, 4th and goal from the 2 for Edina. Sandvin's going to pass. He's got his guy, Khalid Ahmed, his 2nd touchdown of the night, 4th touchdown of the game for the Hornets. 27-0, Christian Smith's extra point pending.
Real nice play there for Edina, and I have to think after a season with limited scoring, really kind of starting to build a little momentum here as we maybe finish off this season and look to next year.
Smith's kick is good. He is solid. 9:46 to play here from Coolman Field. Edina 28, Osseo nothing. It's been a long time coming, David, and it's been a hard, challenging season for Edina. Hard, challenging season for a first-year head coach, Jason Potts, taking over. But these last 3 games, the win over Minnetonka, a solid effort down in Shakopee. Shakopee, a really strong defensive team, so defense really played well down there as well. Offense couldn't get anything going until late in the game after it was basically decided. But a lot of encouraging signs from that game in spite of the score. Now you follow it up here, and I think you're onto something there, that this really does help give you some momentum and build for the off season and then heading into next season.
Yeah, and I don't think you can understate how challenging it is for a program to have a completely new offense. And let's not forget that this summer there were restrictions on what they could do too. So really no time to get adjusted to this new offense and to learn the system. So, this, once again, we've talked about it, this season is so important, not only for the morale of these young men being out here to play and enjoy the sport that they love, but then even from a program perspective, giving that coaching staff and some of these kids an opportunity to learn it and experience it against opponents will really help for next year.
The setup that we're dealing with now with the playoff brackets, 4 different playoff brackets, and in all likelihood a season that's going to end tonight. So you're going to have multiple teams ending with a win. It reminds me a little bit of college and bowl games, and it's one of the few sports where multiple teams end the season with a win, right? And
sure.
In college basketball, for example, you make the NCAA tournament 67. It's a 68-team tournament. I know we always think 64, but it's 68 teams. But 67 of them end with a loss, right?
Right.
Even if you make the Final Four, you make the championship game, you had a great season, a lot of success, you're still walking away with a loss. College football, only in FBS can you win a bowl game, end your season with a win, and then it appears that a number of teams are going to end their season with wins tonight, and it just gives you a little extra spring in your step as you go into the weight room, you go into your off-season conditioning, you go into two-a-days next summer. Those are all things that it gives you a little boost as you head into that type of activity.
Right, absolutely, and I would imagine these kids will only be thinking about the win for the next 10 months as opposed to maybe some of the losses and struggles in the early part of the season.
Yeah, assuming that this lead holds here. We're at the 8-minute and 42nd mark in the fourth quarter, 28-0 Edina. So assuming that this holds, Edina can end on a win, feel good about that, end on 2 home wins, feeling good about that, including a fourth quarter comeback over one of your rivals, Minnetonka. So I don't feel like we're reaching here to find positives and things to build on. I think there are some real key wins, literally and figuratively, that this program and Jason Potts can point to heading into the offseason.
Yeah, absolutely. It will give them that areas to focus on and areas to build upon for next year.
Well, before we turn the page on next year, still 8 minutes left to go in this game, and of course we don't know for sure what is going to be announced tomorrow from Governor Tim Walz in regards to high school sports and youth sports. He's given us many indications that he will be hitting the pause button, and this might be it for the high school football season, but that remains to be seen. What we do know, Edina 28, Osseo nothing. 4th down and a couple to go here for the Orioles. They're still trying to just get something going on offense, and credit to Edina's defense. They have really bottled up the Orioles all night long. A really, really frustrating evening if you're on the Orioles offense.
Yeah, it's a bit surprising because this team has put some points on the board this season against some pretty solid teams out there. So I think we expected more scoring from Osseo tonight.
We most definitely did. surprise on both sides of the scoreboard here. We haven't seen 28 points out of Edina all season long, and haven't seen a 0 out of the Orioles either. A couple of low-scoring games, but a mix. They had, just looking at their scores here, they scored 29 against Totino Grace, 37 against Anoka. That was the first game of the season. They were in the 20s, losses to a good Blaine team, a good Centennial team. So certainly a team that's capable of scoring some points, but not tonight, not so far. Punt is down at the 30, and that's where Sandvin and the Hornet offense will take over one more time here. Want to give a shout out again to the 138 people who are currently watching and listening to our broadcast of playoff football here from Coleman Field. We're still stuck on that one dislike. It's really eating away at me. Yeah.
It's got to be an Osseo fan. I'm thinking they're just not happy with the outcome.
I'm going to stick with it's a commentary on the play on the field and not the announcers in the booth. At least that's how I'm going to go to sleep at night. Well, if that was an Osseo fan, he would give that play a thumbs up because the Osseo defense gave Edina nowhere to go. Hornets tackled for a 3-yard loss there. Second down and about 12, maybe 13. Hornets back on their own 27-yard line here. Oh, Sandman across the middle. Had the receiver wide open there. Right in the hands of James Boss. He can't hang on. And that's going to be 3rd and 13 for the Hornets. Stops the clock at 6 minutes 45 seconds to go. That's Nebel on the carry up the middle. Nice gain for Nebel, but 4th down, and there he is. We finally get to see number 15 out on the field tonight. Adam Bergholt, his first punt of the game coming up.
It's like Edina's struggling to get their punt squad out there. That's probably a good thing.
They haven't had any repetitions tonight, so can't totally blame him. Low punt from Bergholt, but he gets his textbook forward roll. It went through the legs of the Oriole punt returner. It didn't look like it deflected, and the referee was right there for a good view. So Osseo will take over at its 26-yard line. Nice punt from Bergholt. As I mentioned, he's got that top spin. I don't know if he learned that on the golf course and somehow was able to transition that to his foot, but he's got a knack for it.
Yeah, that is not a lot of height on that thing, but certainly getting some roll and worked out well there.
Well, it looks good on the stat sheet. Also looks good on the gridiron as well, as Osseo has to take over on its own 27-yard line. Kenny McKenzie on the carry there. 5-yard gain for him. Starting to see some different players get in the game for Edina. Anthony Borchert's out there at linebacker for the Hornets. Nice run, nice move. That's number 4. Kenny McKenzie, our guy again. Not quite to the first down for McKenzie. about a yard short. So looking at 3rd and 1 for the Orioles. Under 5 minutes to go. First down and more for Osseo. Up. Osseo moved early there. That'll set the Orioles back 5 yards as we approach the 4-minute mark. 28-0. A dominant performance from Edina. Not what we expected to see. Both sides of the ball, the Hornets dominant. I think that's the word that comes to mind for me.
Well, certainly when you're getting your punt unit out there for the first time with about 5 minutes left in the game, that's exactly the type of offensive output you want to see.
Yeah. Hornets really moved the ball well offensively tonight. Just great balance, running, passing. Sandman distributing the ball to multiple receivers. Edina really only stopped itself offensively with the 2 turnovers. Otherwise, that 28 could likely have been a much higher number. 1 interception for Sandman and one fumble for the Hornets as well. And then you throw in the 4 touchdowns, and that's the story of the game for the Hornets offensively. And as David pointed out, didn't have to punt until midway through the 4th quarter. But just a great run there by Kenny McKenzie, talking about effort. He keeps his feet moving, powers after contact multiple times, but the ball comes out at the end of the run, and Edina recovers. And it just adds to the frustration for Osseo on the offensive side of the ball tonight. Orioles arguing that should not be going over to the Hornets, but it is to no avail. Edina will take over at the 49-yard line with 3 minutes, 6 seconds to go. Sandman back out for what will likely be the last offensive possession of his high school career. 2-year starter, a quarterback. And as we've already mentioned, but really finishing the season on a high note and finishing strong, which good for him, because obviously a frustrating season early on for this offense, and for him particularly. No one, no quarterback is satisfied with zeros on the scoreboard for his team for the games where that happens. So happy for George. Happy for the entire team, of course, but in particular for him, because it was a frustrating season up until the last few games, and this is really a good way to go out.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like too long ago when we were in that announcing for that Minnetonka game where that first score of the season occurred.
Yeah.
And
the first touchdown. Yep.
Yeah, the first touchdown, and the excitement from the stands was you could feel that too. So obviously. It's nice to see the positive momentum for the offense here.
Yeah, it was only 11 days and about 40 degrees ago that we called that game. What a difference 11 days and 40 degrees can make. And that was a highlight. As Edina got into the end zone, and you felt momentum and anticipation building for Edina getting its first touchdown of the season, and then they did it. The celebration from the parents who have been here all season long, and that was a highlight, definitely a highlight of the season for me. And and then Edina scoring in that fourth quarter with under a minute to go to take that 14-13 lead. Defensive stop. That was just it was a really fun high school football game to get to watch and to get to call with you.
Yeah, and just like you see on the in the professional games, the college games, different feel, right? Because we have limitations on the number of people that can be on the in the stands.
Right.
And so a genuine excitement on that first touchdown, and now to see the success coming from these parents out here that really want to obviously see both teams have the success that they've worked hard for.
Absolutely. Well, we are now at the 1 minute mark, and Adam Bergholt coming out to punt once again. He's going to get 2 punts in this game. Flag on the play.
Hope we didn't jinx this offense here. We talked about the lack of punts, and all of a sudden now we got a couple punts.
Well, I don't think even we could jinx a 28-0 lead in the final minute of a game, but maybe we shouldn't be heaping all this praise on Edina. Offsides there, so that moves it back 5 yards. So Hornets now punting, line of scrimmage at the 47-yard line. Adam Bergholt back at about the 34, gets the punt off. Fair catch from Osseo. So with under a minute to go, Orioles will get the ball at their own 27-yard line, 1st and 10. And the Hornets are seconds away from a playoff win. That is something that we did not see coming. Just going back a couple of weeks. Edina was sitting there at 0-4 and really struggling to score, and I think momentum and morale was down, and kudos to them, kudos to this coaching staff for keeping the kids in the game, keeping their heads in it, going out and getting that win against Minnetonka, playing tough against Shakopee, and then most likely finishing here with a win against Osseo.
Yeah, and once again, a season that wasn't supposed to happen or didn't look like it was going to happen. So a lot of positives to take away from being able to see 7 games to finish up the season here, if that's the outcome. And nice to see for these young men, especially the seniors.
Rory Conway, the senior, with the tackle on Kenny McKenzie there. And that will do it. That's our final play of this game, and potentially the final play of the 2020 Hornet football season. And Edina ends it with a win, 28-0 over the Osseo Orioles. For David Bergholt, for Will Vanderbilt on the camera, for Eric Anderson running that play clock, Phil Stark working the scoreboard, Dave Dickey, the golden, soothing, familiar tones on the PA. I'm Ryan Lund. Thank you so much for joining us. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay warm, and if we don't get a chance to see you again this season, we'll see you next year. Thanks, everybody.